Hi, my name is Akankshya Upadhyay and I am your English instructor. In today's class, we will be learning about how to change a sentence from direct to indirect speech. This is in the grammar portion of 14th unit in our English book. So let's begin. Changing direct to indirect speech. First, we will know what direct and indirect speech are. In direct speech, we repeat the exact words that someone has said and we quote them. For example, in these examples, we can see that the exact same words are quoted. This is direct speech. Whereas in indirect speech, we report something was said by someone by not quoting the exact same words, but by rephrasing them. So we do not use the exact same words said by someone in indirect speech. We can see that the exact words are removed and the sentence is rephrased in these two examples. Sanskrit says that he is doing very well. Sapu said that he played soccer very well. We are not repeating the exact same words that the speaker has said. Now, how to change direct speech to indirect speech? So let's begin with the roots. The adverbs used in the direct speech should be removed from one form to another. The nearest form of adverbs should be put in a distance. For example, so let's note the rule first. So what do we mean by this rule? Suppose there is a sentence and it has an adverb now, then we must rephrase the adverb noun to then. So you can notice that this is making a distance, whereas now is denoting nearness. Though yesterday and the day before means the same, the words are different. The words are rephrased, and yesterday denotes nearness, while the day before denotes a distance. These are some of the examples. Yesterday is changed to the day before, this to that, thus to so, tomorrow to the next day, next month is changed to a month after, and today is changed to that day. There are more examples. We will see them once we start with our exercise. For now, let's move to rule number 2. With present or future tense, no change in the verb while converting from direct to indirect speech is required. While with the past tense, the verbs in indirect speech must be changed to the past. Let's see some examples. Shyam says, I go for a walk. This is a direct speech. And the verb is in present tense. In the indirect speech, the direct speech for Shyam says, I go for a walk. While converting it into indirect speech, it becomes Shyam says that he goes for a walk. Notice that the verb is still in present tense. So no change when the sentence is in present tense. There is not required any change in the verb while we convert it into indirect speech. Now let's see another example. Prem said to Akhil, I have planned to publish a book. This sentence is in direct speech and the verb used is in present tense. When we convert the sentence to indirect speech, it becomes Prem said to Akhil that he had planned to publish a book. So here we have used the past tense. So when we see that this sentence is in past tense, we need to convert it. When we notice that it was reported in previous point of time or in the past, then we use the past tense, the verb in past tense, to convert it into indirect speech. A simple past tense in direct speech becomes past perfect tense in indirect speech. For example, the direct speech is Suraj said to Ashakti, you were kind to me. This is in simple past tense. Now we will convert this sentence into indirect speech. Suraj told Ashakti that she had been very kind to him. Now we've converted the sentence into past perfect tense when we changed the direct form of speech to indirect form. The second rule while we convert from direct to indirect speech using past tense is that in direct speech, if the verb is in past continuous tense, while we convert it into indirect speech, the verb must be changed to past perfect continuous tense. For example, Priyanka said I was dancing. This is in past continuous tense, and we will convert it into indirect speech by saying that Priyanka said that she had been dancing. If the sentence, when a reporting verb is in past tense and the sentence in direct speech is in present tense, we change it into past perfect tense. For example, Shikha said, I have maintained silence. This is in present perfect tense. Now we change it into past perfect tense. And we say, Shikha said that she had maintained silence. Another rule says that if the sentence has will or shall, we change it to would. For example, Sharmila said to Suman, I will tell you my top secret tomorrow. This is indirect speech and we change it into indirect speech by saying, Sharmila told Suman that she would tell him her top secret tomorrow. So notice that will used in direct speech is converted to would in indirect speech, and the adverb tomorrow is changed to the day after. Now just like we changed will and shall to would, we can also change may to might, can to could, must to must itself or had to. Let's see an example for this. This sentence can be changed to indirect form by saying that Ram said that he had to eat, or we can also say Ram said that he must eat. We are assuming that Ram is referring to a person who is a boy and we write he here. Ram said that he had to eat or Ram said that he must eat. We are changing must to had to or must itself. Now above all, there is one exception. Even if the reporting speech is in past tense, the tense of direct speech remains unchanged if it contains the universal truth. So in case of universal truth, we don't change the tense. For example, while changing the direct form of speech, which is Dinesh said to his friends, wood floats in water, iron sinks. While we change this universal truth to indirect speech, the tense still remains in present tense. Dinesh said to his friends that wood floats in water but iron sinks. We can also change the reporting verbs while converting a sentence from direct speech to indirect speech. So the reporting verb say can be changed to tell, and the reporting verb said can be changed to told. Also, we have some rules to change an assertive sentence from direct to indirect form. The rule is, first of all, we will remove the quotation mark from the sentence. First, we remove quotations or quotation marks. We then use the conjunction that, and if the reporting verb say is used, we change it to tell, and if reporting verb said is used, we change it to told. Let's see some examples. You can do this work, said Ram to Sita. So we change the sentence to indirect form by saying that Ram told Sita that she could do that work. So here, said is converted to told, can is converted to could, and this is converted to that. Now we will see rules while changing direct form of imperative sentence to indirect form. Also here, in the first place, we remove the quotation marks. An affirmative sentence is denoted or reported using to. If the sentence contains don't, it is changed to not to. Also, words like please is replaced by request. And again, if the reporting verb is say or said, we change it to tell, request, order, command, etc. Let's see a few examples. Padma said to her son, don't waste food. The sentence is changed into indirect form by saying Padma commanded her son not to waste food. So here, said is converted to commanded. You can also use advised, but since this is a command that Padma is giving to her son, I use the word commanded. Padma commanded her son. We remove to from direct speech while converting into indirect, and instead of said, we place commanded. And then we remove the quotation marks, and don't is converted to not to. So Padma commanded her son not to waste food. Let's see another example. Be careful, she said to him. We first remove the inverted commas, and said is converted to ordered. So the sentence becomes, she ordered him to be careful. There are some rules while we convert an interrogative sentence, questions, from direct to indirect speech. So let's quickly go through them. These are some of the basic rules to change an interrogative direct speech to indirect speech. So the first rule says to remove the quotation marks, which we have been doing. The second rule says if in a sentence there is auxiliary verb or the sentence begins with an auxiliary verb like want or do and many others, replace it with whether or if. Also, if the sentence does not begin with any auxiliary verb, then we use WH questions like why, what, when, where, who, whom, whose, etc. We avoid the use of that And since the sentence is interrogative, if the reporting verbs are say or said, we change it to ask or asked. Now let's go through a few examples. "Won't you study today?" said my mother. "Won't you study today?" said my mother. This is a direct interrogative speech sentence, and we convert it into indirect speech by saying, my mother asked me, said is converted to asked, me if I would study that day. So want is changed to if I would study today or that day. Another example, "How often do you study?" said Sita to me. This is a direct interrogative sentence. We change it into indirect form by saying, Sita asked me how often I studied. Here, said is converted to asked, and since it does not start with an auxiliary verb, we put how, and since the reporting verb is in past tense, we change the verb in the sentence study to the past form studied. Now we will go through converting exclamatory sentences from direct to indirect speech. These are the rules to change an exclamatory sentence from direct to indirect speech. First, we change exclamatory sentence to a statement. Second, we remove any quotation marks or exclamatory marks in the sentence. Then we add conjunctions like that. The interjections like alas, oh, how are removed because we do not want to make it an exclamatory sentence again. And if there is no verb specified in the sentence, we change it into indirect form by using the form of be, the verbs of form be. Now let's go through some of the examples. "Oh, what a beautiful dress," she said. This is a direct sentence, direct speech. Now we convert it into indirect speech by saying that she exclaimed joyfully that it was a beautiful dress. Instead of said, we have added exclaimed joyfully, and we've used the conjunction that, and then we complete the sentence. She exclaimed joyfully that it was a beautiful dress. "Alas, I have broken my brother's watch," she said. This is a direct exclamatory sentence. We change it into indirect form by saying, he exclaimed sorrowfully that he had broken his brother's watch. In the previous sentence, the girl was very joyful to see the beautiful dress, hence we use joyful. But in the second sentence, breaking a brother's watch is not a joyful action, it's a sorrowful action. Hence, we add he exclaimed sorrowfully that he had broken his brother's watch. Now we will see some examples. These are the questions. Prithvi will say, he can't win me. So the sentence can be changed in indirect form by saying, Prithvi would say that he couldn't win me. He says his horse died in the night. This sentence can be changed to indirect form by saying, he says that his horse died in the night. We do not change the tense because the reporting verb is in present tense. Bring me a cup of tea, said Rita. Rita asked him to bring her a cup of tea. The homework for today's class is to change the given sentences. The homework for today's class is to change the following sentences from direct to indirect speech. These are the homework questions for today. Benju said to Julia, Bhavani joined university last year. The second question is Harimaya said to Firoz, what were you doing when I knocked at the door? And the third question is, please give me some food, said the old man. This is all for today's class. If you have anything that you wish to share with us, please feel free to write to us at learning@deerwalk.edu.np. Thanks for watching.